Good morning, guys. How are we all doing? Happy hump day, everybody. Welcome to Wednesday. It is the big day. It's the big day when the Fed allegedly is gonna grow a pair of balls and try and actually do something, but realistically it's just gonna say something and nothing and not do anything because the Fed can't do anything. But anyway, so if you guys wouldn't mind smashing that like button, we shall go straight back over to the Bitcoin 4-hour charts. So as we can see, we are having a little bit of a move up here. We clearly have a descending trend line we can draw in. We kind of got to break this trend line. We've more realistically just got to get back above these highs more than trend lines. That's what I look at. Obviously we prefer horizontals here more, but yeah, if we get back above, we'll call it just call it 50,000, and that's even 50,000, then we can have a shot at taking out 52, 53, and then we should start to go pretty bullish. Obviously there's quite a large catalyst today, so we'll potentially get an aggressive move, be it to the upside or the downside. If we don't take out this trend line, and probably more importantly $50,000, once the market gets catalyzed, then if we are getting rejected at this trend line or lower again, there is not much room between where price action would be getting rejected at and this horizontal support level. So you would only have to assume we are going to lose it and find ourselves heading back towards $41,000. So that is it today. Basically get out your coin and toss it and see what direction it says we're going to go. My guess will be to the upside. My guess is to the upside, just based on the fact that regardless of what the Fed says, it can't do anything, and then regardless of what the Fed says, I think a lot of market participants understand the Fed won't do anything. So that is what I'm looking at here. We shall see what happens today, but ultimately we all know all those guys are just talking rubbish. They live in the current financial system is a massive Ponzi scheme, and they can't just be you can't taper a Ponzi in the words of good old Max Kaiser, which quite literally is what they think they're going to do. Literally taper the Ponzi that they are basically pumping more funds in basically every month. So yeah, you literally can't taper a Ponzi, so they ain't gonna do it basically. So yes, Bitcoin obviously at least getting away from this support, but like I said, this is a very tiny range. We are still very close to it. If we get rejected, especially on some Fed speak that is not seen as favorable to the markets, we will pretty much get slammed and lose this support. But if the opposite is to happen, then I think 50,000 back towards 52, 53, maybe a pullback, maybe a bounce back of 50,000, and then onwards and upwards back into the deep $50,000 Bitcoin range. Ethereum Satoshi pairing is also down here. 1 sec, I think I just need to sneeze. Yeah, Ethereum Satoshi pairing, but could be potentially putting a base down here at this horizontal, hopefully we can turn this back up. But if Bitcoin crypto is going to make an aggressive move today, either to the upside or the downside, you would still expect this to lag, at which point it will come down, as in the Ethereum price not go up as much, so yeah, or go down basically more. So yeah, we'll have to see what happens today, but if things are generally more orderly, yeah, this can potentially turn around and start to move up. If we do get an aggressive move, maybe we get a wick down into this box and then a bought back up, and then we can start to stabilize if that is off the back of bullish market reactions. If you want to have also a look at the USD pairing, it does need to try and get back above this resistance area, and I think that would look pretty good for Ethereum. Once it does this, then yeah, we'll be free to operate between like the $4,000 and $4,500 area, get some nice sideways action, build up a head of steam, and then go on to new all-time highs. Obviously that will be dependent on Bitcoin going up in dollar value also. And yeah, that's basically we're waiting to see how the market decides to digest whatever Jerome Powell comes out and says today. But honestly, the guy can't crash markets. Otherwise, whatever he does to crash markets, he'll have to reverse. So there's just no point in him doing it in the first place. Inflation will, for the most part, subside. Not only when supply chains thaw out, but also as prices keep going up. I mean, the cure for high prices is quite literally higher prices. So people will stop buying as much stuff, and there'll be not as much pressure. And then also, if there's been a glut of buying, an increase in demand for things, those things get bought, and those things then don't need to necessarily be bought again. So I think going into next year, there is going to be less inflation. But also, what I will say is it's not a good idea for them to fight inflation with a recession, basically, because that will be the easiest way for them to literally kill inflation, will be to cause a recession. But that it's not a good idea for them to do that. So whilst ultimately we may go into one at some point, into maybe late next year after, it can be avoided if basically inflation does come down. The Fed can still keep obviously inflating its Ponzi at an ever increasing rate, and we just live in these fake markets basically. So what else do you want to look at? Yes, stocks, how are they looking? Pulled back into our support zone here. Bouncing off it now, got this horizontal resistance area to try and get over as well. I mean, again, we're just going to wait to see what happens today. This does look prime though. Does look prime for a move to the upside, I think. We've got, obviously, if we move onwards and upwards from here, we've clearly got a higher low relative to this low here. Yeah, we can then go and try and put in a higher high relative to this high, which will basically be new all-time highs, and we'll continue onwards and upwards. Like I said, a lot of what I'm thinking is based on the Fed isn't going to do a lot. This is still just trading sideways. Maybe it is going to have an acceleration to the upside, but you would expect, if we are going to have some bullish, if there was going to be a bullish market reaction to the Fed, that this isn't going to go up. This is potentially going to go down. Oil as well, having a bit of an ease off, still not really getting above this trend line. Let's just pull this down a bit further. Still not really getting and holding above this trend line, but we should have to see what happens today. Bitcoin dominance, we'll have a look at that, is still operating within this resistance zone. So again, if crypto markets turn bullish, we would expect this to come off. But if we do get a bearish reaction, I fully expect to spike up to about 43%. What else do you want to look at on here? Gold, just not doing anything. The 10-year not really doing anything as well, which is also quite good. And yeah, so let's just have a quick glance over at Bitcoin one last time on those stochastics. Like I said, I do think we are in a, not even just for crypto, we're in quite a negative news cycle for risk assets generally, but also for crypto. Crypto is getting battered about a bit with Elizabeth, Karen, Warren. I mean, as much as I don't like Elon Musk, I do like him, like coining the phrase Karen for Elizabeth Warren, because obviously it'll catch on now, and she will literally be she will be forever now known as Senator Karen. But I don't particularly like Elon Musk. I mean, the guy, she does have a point with it where he says like, oh, he should pay his tax, because like it's just disgraceful that the guy can like do a Twitter poll, oh, should I sell some of my stock to actually pay some tax? Like, just like in the process of that, basically getting himself a lot of attention, which he craves. He's then kind of virtue signaling that he's offering to pay tax. I mean, why should people offer to pay tax? I mean, do we just offer and choose to pay tax when we want to, or do we just get taxed on everything all the time? And yeah, I mean, it is just ridiculous. And then it's kind of like, well, the market part then thinks, well, we don't want you to sell your Tesla stock because that'll just affect our net wealth. So maybe just don't sell it and just not pay your tax. Yeah, it's just a silly world we live in. She does have a point about him not paying his tax. And yeah, if only we could all volunteer, do Twitter polls, get loads of attention, virtue signal when we decide that maybe we'll pay a little bit of tax. Also, there is the fact that maybe he just wanted to sell some Tesla and was just basically just trying to be clever about it, using that to try as an excuse to sell some without spooking the market, which again, why do certain people have options to do such things anyway? But yeah, we don't like it. We don't like Elizabeth Warren, 72-year-old swamp monster, swamp creature. These people don't want any change. They've literally feathered their nest with the financial system as it is. The only thing realistically worse than the parasites in finance 1.0 and the central bankers are literally the politicians that do nothing other than just take bribes to basically talk about certain things. Do you think Elizabeth Karen Warren knows anything about DeFi at all, or do you reckon somebody with a vested interest has just whispered in her ear, oh, I don't like this, we'll pay you to come and do a speech on this, just basically just say some bad stuff and try and draw attention to this and try and get some regulation against it, because it is hurting our finance 1.0 boomer business. Do you not just think that is basically the process of what happens? You're not looking into this stuff. She doesn't care. None of them care. All they do is insider trade and just get away with it. The whole US political system is literally broken. It's not even it's not even a democracy anyway, because it's a republic. And also it's like it's basically all the lobbying that goes on. Literally, it's just pay to play. Like, the whole system is pay to play. It's literally so far from a democracy. So anyway, thank you for listening to my rant. In fact, actually no, we forgot to look at stochastics. Are they going to help us? Yeah, 4 hour is not looking bad here. 4 hour not looking bad. Moving up, got plenty of room to run. Is this 10 and 12 hour and daily that we need to be looking good? Yep, 10 hour looking to turn back up, potentially putting a higher low on here. 12 hour, is it turning up? Yes, 12 hour looking to turn up here as well. Daily looking to turn back up here as well. Buy daily still going up. 3 day wiggling about down there. These ones are still going to be diving, waiting for us probably to get back above 54,000. And then the bi-weekly and monthly looking okay as well. So assuming we get some basically not disastrous news, and honestly, why does anyone think the Fed is going to basically come out with any disastrous for the markets news? Because like I said, they are immediately going to have to then going to have to basically go into damage control and just reverse whatever they did. Who realistically cares about the political pressure that they're getting put on once they have been renominated? They are in now. It's like you do this, you get hard on the inflation and we'll nominate you. Jay Powell says okay, and then once he's been renominated, it's like, haha, I'm in now. Do you think I'm really going to crash markets? No. All the lower income people and middle class can get squeezed by in inflation. I don't care. That is how these guys work. Inflation literally is a tax on everybody. Is a massive tax on everybody, and especially the poorest, more so. Literally to keep the wealthy and particularly incredibly wealthy rich. That is literally what inflation is. The incredibly wealthy consume such a little amount of their wealth, and the rest of that wealth is in assets that benefit from inflation. The very poor people, they have no assets to hedge against inflation, and they have to spend everything on the things that are basically going up in price. Therefore, they are massively much more affected by inflation. That's what inflation is. Aliens looking down on the earth, humans even looking back maybe in like 100 years or something will be like, what was going on with these people? What was going on with these people? Why did the people of the world not see what was going on? And that's, yeah, so there you go. Anyway, rant over. Thanks for listening, guys. Remember, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Always do your own research, and I shall speak to you guys soon.